What's going on, everyone? Live from the Sports Interaction Studio. It's coming in hotter with Cody Gaudreau and Jamison Bridle. What a game. Sens win 7-1. We're not counting that last goal. Jamison, how are we feeling right now?
Hey, 7-1 is exactly how we're going about it, Cody, because that was I was so hoping that goal would get called back completely needlessly, and I kind of love that Green went for it. Things are good here, man. How are you?
Doing great, especially after that game. Sens are on a roll. I'm already seeing the chat popping off, rolling seven heavens. Hell yeah, I love that. I love seeing the chat popping off even before the stream starts, and I'm already loving the idea of the show, man. So
It is going to
yeah.
be a lot of fun to hear people. I had a few people reaching out, old people like me before the show saying, "Oh, how do I call in?" I was like, "No, there's no calling in. No, sorry about that." There's
You know
like, but here's the chat, so jump on there, and I won't call them out by name just yet, but I'm gonna let them come around to getting into the chat.
Dad, I'm calling you out for that. You did the exact same thing.
It was,
But yeah,
I'll go with my parents too, 100%.
no, but I'm already seeing again chat popping off. Such a complete game. I'm loving that game from the Sens. Yes, I am completely fired up that Zetterlund finally got his goal. Yeah, so Levi Merlainen gets his confidence boost. Let's start with that. Linus Ullmark, before Wally yells at me, getting a full day off, bringing in a Hunter Shepard and starting Merlainen. Kind of raised an eyebrow at first when I saw that, but Jameson ended up working out, eh?
I couldn't say that better. You hit the nail right on the head. It is exactly what it is. He needed the confidence boost. When I saw it, my initial thought didn't go to Allmark needing the day off. I didn't join the parade of people assuming he's hurt, though. With his comments earlier this year, who could blame them? I love the fact that he came back after only 2 games. I expected him to be in Belleville a lot longer than that. I was genuinely surprised when Allmark didn't even play as backup. But yeah, he needed that confidence boost. The whole team needed that confidence boost. And 2 games, 7 goals, but more importantly, 2 games and only 3 goals allowed. That's huge.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll get to the rest of the game in chronological order, but Travis Green challenging that last goal with less than 10 seconds left. I mean, we watched the replay. It was close, but that was 100% a goal.
It was just such a jerk move for the best reason. Like, that's the same Travis Green that I used to watch when he played hockey. There's the mentality you hired that guy for. Is just oh yeah, like we all know. Yeah, I think it translates to you and I were talking before the show about the Zadorov call and then the Cousins call, and I think that's just Travis Green saying, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you want to make some crap calls? I'll do the same thing with 10 seconds left." And just who cares if you lose the timeout on that? You're up. Go for it.
All right, hold on. I'm seeing some chat people saying that's the league reviewing and wasn't a Greener challenge, but
come on,
okay,
really?
But I mean, we're gonna go with it was Green challenging just for just because it's a better story. Screw the facts.
Yeah, sir. Similarly enough, we're going with Green. I think we all need to get on board with that.
But no, that would have been like the proving point of it. But this whole game, I just felt like, including Travis Green, but the rest of the team going, you know what, Levi, we have your back. And I said this exact thing. Exactly, it would have been so petty. But we talked about it before. But getting into this game, I would have been happy 100% with Merlainen's game if he let that goal in literally on any other shot than the first one. The Sens might actually be cursed by letting in goals in the first shot. I'm sure there's some kind of stats there, but if it was any other shot, I would have been so happy with Merlainen's game. He gets a 9 out of 10 for me, but that would have been a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for that.
And I'll give him 9.5 only because of how quickly and efficiently he bounced back and got his game back. But you're right. There seems to be some weird addiction for the Sens to want to, they need to play from behind. I don't know what's going on. And it's last year too. They just gave up a goal and were like, cool. Now we got that fire lit exactly where it shouldn't need to be. But here we are. Again, are we complaining about 7-2? Does it go
not
a different way if they get the first goal? Who knows? Maybe they just like to play from underneath.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ended up working out, but I'd appreciate, not giving me a heart attack every first period. But if we ignore that first like minute or two of the game, it was a complete game by the Sens. They completely dominated. Like, we
Was the best.
yeah, like I want to go into what you thought was your turning point of the game, like early on, because we both said Giroux was on fire that game, but he set the tone early.
He really, and to me, I'm again, I'm the old guy here, so I literally took notes. I immediately wrote one down when I saw him do that almost end to end. Attaboy. There you go. It's one of those rushes that it looked like Giroux from 10 or 15 years ago, where he self passes to himself in the neutral zone, gets into their end, and takes it straight to the net, all the way in, and just about gets the goal. And I realize that it's Pasternak on D, but that's not an easy guy to walk. And he walked Pasternak on that, got it going. And again, there was no real scoring chance. There was no goal, but that to me, that was the spark. How about you?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go a little bit later on in the game and go for that his goal, because it's not exactly that he gave us the lead with that goal. It's just like the way, like, you look at his celebration after and just him skating up to the net, just how nonchalant he is. He like he looks back and looks over at Pinto. He's like, hell yeah, I just did that. Hell yeah, I just scored a goal with my back turned, with like barely looking at where the puck was. Sorry, just quick little side note. DGL number 7 honored every night with 7 goals. We're gonna get to that, because yeah, they're missing Chucky there. Well, they're not missing him, but I'm sure they'd love him back, and I'm sure he's fired up. But yeah, that first period, just again, I want to say, because it was one of my big points in the Washington game, how the Sens managed to get on the board early. And again, if somehow managing to erase that early goal off of my mind, off of that, I'll admit, yes, even though I am a Zetterlund lover,
yeah,
that was a huge mistake on his part.
I think he can play, and hopefully, we talked a couple of times about the confidence building that's happened, and this is, I think, going to be a bit of a theme, especially over the last 2 days. But I have never left the Zetterlund bandwagon. I haven't done that yet.
Oh no! Finally, someone on my side here.
Now I didn't place any bets on him, but that's okay.
We'll get to that. But no, like it's. I'm seeing a lot of this in the chat. Like, yeah, it was an amazing game through and through. And one thing I was thinking of before the game, and kind of the reason, like, well, again, we'll get to the betting segment, but I did bet that the Sens would only win by 1 goal. They're making me eat my words now. But it because we put Meriläinen in, and because we're in the first half of a back-to-back, teams tend to play a little bit more conservatively, and like a tighter defense. And the big strength we have against Boston, because that's when you always want to play to your strength, but when you got like kind of this weird situation going on, you want to play to your strength. And the big one we have over Boston is that depth, because the way everyone was talking about Boston in the preseason is, on offense they have Pasternak. That's about it. Like, Geeky's a pleasant surprise.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, Geeky's obviously stepped up. Like, Zaka's doing good and everything like that, but you're talking about big names on the team, and it's really just Pasternak. Obviously, you got McAvoy on the back end, but apart from that, with Lindholm being out, Lohrei, he's good, but he's not exactly in that top tier defenseman I put him in. And yeah, like, again, with Zetterlund proving he can score, and the rest of our depth, like, we saw that amazing move by Eller a couple games ago, and yeah, we proved that. Yes, our best player in Brady, arguably our best player in Brady, is out. We're still a playoff team here.
100% we are. And I think one thing you mentioned there too, and you and I didn't talk about, was I like seeing Eller and the calm under pressure that he brings. That there was one goal, on the third goal, it was just that they screwed up on their defense. It's perfect to the point you're making, that, yeah, Boston, they are down with a lot of that high-end talent these days. I think there was a lot of people putting them at the bottom of the conference for good reason at the beginning of the season. But when their D sort of let them down on the Sens' third goal, Eller putting it in front to, I think it was Batherson. And that was such a good play. I assume he knew Batherson was there, but that's the kind of play that I think illustrates the depth perfectly. And another thing, if I can, I don't understand this move, and maybe somebody in the chat, anybody, Cody, help me out here. McDermott in place of Lixell? Why?
Well, I mean, it's not to say that Lixell was doing bad, but you don't want to change that amazing winning formula that you had against Washington, and it was
Okay.
McDermott playing there. And another thing I wanted to talk about, especially without Brady Tkachuk in the lineup, you got some big guys over in that Boston lineup. And I'm looking at Zadorov, who, I think kind of had a disappointing game,
That's a
but
big boy.
exactly, he's huge,
Yeah.
he's terrifying. So, you know what, I'm gonna get to this little thing that I had planning on. But yeah, without Brady Tkachuk, you need like kind of everyone to step up. Like before the game, I kind of said to myself, I don't care if Jordan Spence comes down from the press box and just gives a left right combo from like he was Chris Neal into Zadorov. Someone has to step up. And again, the whole team I kind of want to say just shut down Boston's physicality just because of how well they were playing. And
Well, they suffocated them again after that first goal, and all jokes aside, the Sens seemed to realize that okay, they have an opportunity here, and suffocating them physically, it comes with being able to dominate them when it, on the talent side, and I'm surprised it didn't get more frustration boiling over from the Bruins, especially around goal 4, 5, 6. But you're right. I mean, a guy like Zadorov, he could have very easily stepped into somebody and turned it into a different kind of game.
yeah, and I mean that's exactly why. Sorry, McDermott is there. I missed who said it in the chat. Yeah, George, but I wouldn't say he's solely a deterrent, but that's 100% his main purpose. Like the timing of when we traded for him after that Montreal game.
That's exactly
that's why he's here, because he's
yes.
terrifying.
Yeah, he's a big boy. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't know much more about him other than that he's got big mitts. He's not afraid to step up. And it was the next game that Saturday night against Montreal being back. And of course, Xhekaj is just, nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna skate over here and do my thing. And that's exactly well, you did it. Even though he didn't win the fight he got into, it's pretty cool to have a guy like that back on the team. And to your point, yeah, good call. Without Tkachuk, you do need that deterrent.
Exactly. And just going back to that general point of not changing the lineup, again, there's parts I disagree with. I like, as much as I love our decor right now, Spence is going to have to end up playing. I don't like Zetterlund on the fourth line, and I'm not a big I respect Nick Cousins, but I'm going to repeat what I said. He is not a first line NHLer. Again, it works. He's got two goals in a row for the second time in his career, scoring 2 goals in a row from a guy with kind of just his character. Yeah, like Justin is saying, it's just working out. But so you don't want to change it until it obviously stops working. But at the rate they're playing right now, it might just never change. Shout out Graham, by the way.
Yeah, there's Graham. He's he's loading up the stats for us. Thanks, pal. I like having Nick Cousins. I disagree that he's not a first line player. I think he can be a first line player. Could he be on the second line with a guy like Batherson and you end up with a 1A, 1B? Absolutely. I think he's that good. I think that's why he makes the 7 point whatever million dollars he makes a year and is worth every single penny, especially too because he's not afraid to step into guys. He's not afraid to throw his frame around a little bit. And with Tkachuk gone, that's where I definitely have to disagree with you on that one. Like he's clearly doing something right.
Yeah, well, that is a good point because obviously like Brady Tkachuk's one of a kind, but there's not a lot of people on our roster, let alone in the rest of the league, that can match what Brady Tkachuk brings to that first line. The only real alternative is Ridley, and you know what? He's got a stable position where he's at now. So I do see the idea behind it.
Oh, sure.
But,
I mean, Brady's also got about 5 or 6 inches and probably 30 pounds on Ridley. So yeah, that's, that's a big difference. And I think, I said something off the cuff to some friends at the bar the other day. And that, one thing that, and I don't know if it's really changed over the last 2 games, or maybe we're just playing a little more, sorry, Yorkie, structured hockey. But, it's we didn't up until this point seem to be the team that was hard to play against. That everybody in the summer said, "Oh, we're going to be in their face. We're going to be battling against the boards. We're going to be doing this. The goals are going to come. The talent is there." But I think having a Ridley Gregg, having somebody like Cousins, having somebody like, I guess where this goes to the same point you made about McDermott, these guys who are going to finish their checks and punish other teams. That's one thing we really need to rely on, because it just opens up space for that offense to take over.
Exactly. So, as much as I'm still going to say I don't think he's a first liner, but just because of the super specific situation that the Sens are in right now,
100%.
I get it. I get it. Pivot real quick to the stat that we're showing on screen right now, which is, when you first saw that, your reaction wasn't, wait, we did this before. Your reaction was, wait, we did this before in 1993.
Yeah, we were terrible in 1993. I was there, and I don't remember these. I'm not going to be the guy who says I remember that, but I remember what it was like in 1993.
I'm going to let you take over this part. I was negative 11 years old when when this was happening.
I was 11 years old. So
there you go. But yeah, like, honestly, it kind of just came as a surprise to me, because the Sens did have some like really bad, times, but 7 goals back to back. What the heck? Like, I also, another reason I placed that prop bet of Sens only winning by 1 goal. 2 blowouts back to back just simply doesn't feel natural.
That's a fair point. And this is, and we're going to get to this too. And you're going to learn about me as the more and more we hang out here. I don't get betting. I'm not a gambler, and I can't wait to learn. I'm very excited. But that's the kind of thinking that I don't often put forward. Is, you're right. That's a hard thing to pull off, especially in the NHL. Like, your teams are stingy, and as much as we can say that the Bruins aren't the Bruins of yesteryear, still an NHL
Toronto
team.
just got the lead.
Okay,
just got the lead. Sorry, keep going.
I was done. That's great news.
Yeah, no,
let's have a score update for the Blue Jays.
5-4, top of the 7th. 2 outs, 2 guys on base. Kirk up to bat. So it's
Kirky.
It's pretty good to see. He got that homer a little earlier, because I swear I was fully paying attention to the Sens game. Kind of just going back to that whole everybody stepping up, while the chat is having a little debate on Jensen and Zetterlund, which is another thing I want to mention too a little later. But Tyson Nash kind of picked this up in the second intermission right before the interview. The Amazon broadcast interviewed him, which, by the way, Brady looks absolutely massive compared to the 2 commentators.
So funny.
But he kind of recognized that the rest of the players on the team added some Brady into their game. Like, players were kind of turning into them. And then when they got to that interview, Brady said, he felt like a coach. And that's something I talked about a little bit after the Washington game. Brady missing, everyone becomes Brady. So that, again, as if we needed more proof behind Brady's leadership. But again, just addressing to the depth this team has. We talked about how Linus Ullmark getting into that scrum last game proves how tight-knit this team is.
Loved
this team's a wagon.
Like, that skate down the ice, there is not a hockey fan in the world, and I don't care what league you watch, when you see the goalie go for that skate and just the way he throws the stick and waits, and then the trapper, it just perfect. It's so much fun to watch that. Speaking of that scrappiness, I hope I say your name right here, Syquill, bringing up Nick Cousins. I agree. Thank you for saying that. Bringing up Nick Cousins, and that he's the closest thing to Brady. I would amend that and say he's a Brady meets Ridley, because, or maybe even Giroux. And this is something I was going to say. You mentioned the way Giroux sort of looks back after he says, "Yeah, I got that goal on my backhand with my back turned." There's something wonderful about watching Giroux stare people down after he pulls something like that, and that's the Nick Cousins that we need to see. He's never been a fighter. He's not going to be the guy who goes, but he's also not going to step back when he realizes that he's pissed somebody off enough by staring them down and by getting under their skin. Like, I love it.
it's great to see. Like nothing beats just seeing your team come together like that. Because we this is whatever. Like I'm going back to a cliche. Everybody know this, so I'm stating the obvious here.
Mhm.
We're not happy with just face-offs anymore, or sorry, just playoffs anymore.
Well,
So
the players, though, that was the players that said that.
exactly,
And I love the fact that they're the first ones out in front of it saying, this is the new standard. So we're going, you never aim for standard. Mediocrity isn't anybody's game. And, the goals galore. I love that. So good. Look, 100% penalty kill. Love that.
If we go back to like after 3, 4, 5 games into the season, and you showed me that stat line,
wouldn't believe you.
Yeah, I'd run away from you. Like, who are you trying to lie to me like that?
It's nice to see. This is going to be a good sort of transition here because I know you wanted to talk about it too. It's nice to see the certain things like face-offs, and our power play has been incredible. I think I took this stat down somewhere. Where are we? 6th in the league right now for the power play, 28%. So that's incredible. And so that would have been the only thing, if you had brought this stat up in game 5 or 6, that would have been sort of my fallback is, okay, we are doing certain fundamental things very right. And maybe that's all it's been, is that they've stayed the course regardless of how bad things got in those first few games. And here we are.
Good teams know how to bounce back. Like,
yeah.
How well did Vegas play when they lost Mark Stone? How well did Florida play when they lost Matthew Tkachuk on their way to the Cup?
Absolutely.
The Sens are doing the same thing now without Brady and just getting all of those guys to step up.
It's on the way to the Cup, you say? I like it.
Hey.
Yeah. I will say that we did talk about it though, and since it's up here with the picture with the goals galore, how about the jerseys? How do you feel?
Oh, I was skeptical when they first released them.
Okay.
I'm actually going to flip that over to you because I know you got a pretty nice story with it.
But
I'm sold on them now.
It was, to me, they did a brutal job of unveiling them. Like the dark background and it was emotional. I'll give them that. It was nice. It was okay. There's something, but I saw one when I was at the Oilers game last week, and I had to stop myself from reaching out and touching this stranger's chest because the numbers and the logo, like in the what's it called, the over the head, the helmet, it's got texture on it, and it bumps out a little bit. I'm like, that's the kind of thing that adds a little more. It's needless. I don't know if the players care about it at all, but from a fan's point, that's friggin' cool, man.
Yeah, I was feeling the same thing. Like when I first saw the reveal, it was kind of, just underwhelming in general, just the way they revealed it.
We can say that.
If I'm talking about the jersey itself, meh. Like red is cool. We've already had we had a red primary jersey for most of my life. Yes. So we'll like I was like, let's wait to see it. Then I missed the Oilers game, so I was catching it on highlights.
Yep.
I don't know why they just look so bad in highlights. I have yet to see them live, but watching this game, man, they look good. And I mean it helps when they're putting up 7 goals, but they look good.
Well, that's, as Jesse said, he's agreeing with you here. It's so, they are very sharp looking. And you and I were going back and forth again. I'm going to turn to the chat on this one and ask for some help.
Yeah.
Did the pants change? I think they did. Did we always have that gold stripe down the leg and around the top of the knee? I
don't think so, because that's something I noted. Like I didn't even think about until you told me, because I wasn't even looking at the pants, but I do think that is a new thing. And speaking of, in the chat, please everybody just spam your opinion on the new jerseys. We want to see everyone's opinion on this, because it's at least they're trying something. Like they're trying something new. When we had those reverse retro jersey, I feel like, yeah, Justin, the pants are a new thing. Thank you. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it
not great.
when when we had the reverse retro jerseys a couple I want to say like 3-ish years ago, like the one that
Yep.
they had, they also went for a primary red color, but this one just looks cleaner. Just looks
It
there's just
it
something about
does.
it.
The
Yeah.
shoulders look silly from Sherry, eh? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
If it was a full, I remember a lot of people came up with that one too. It does look a little silly. I'm surprised. They look decent from Jay. Okay. Jersey look great.
Adam
Amazon.
saying need the goal helmet. I could not agree more. Bringing some
No,
swag here. Oh, come
no,
on.
come on. Gold helmet. I was about to tear those to shreds, and then somebody wanted them on purpose. No, I can't get behind any of that. No way.
Why not? It's the glossy helmets they have in LA. Again, it's one of those things that I first thought looked ridiculous.
What do you mean the
But-
Dodgers tied? Come on, Lisette. This is a happy chat. Sorry, ADD
No,
took
yeah.
over there. Okay. I'll meet you halfway and say, because I heard you through my complaints say
The
get
chat
some
isn't
swag.
liking me right now. The chat is not
That's
liking me
okay.
right now.
What if, and this is the happy medium. This is for the chat. This is for you. What if the players kept the helmets they have, but the fans got to wear gold helmets? That'd look pretty cool in stands. Sea of
Steve,
red.
if you want to spend
gold.
some extra money, I would love a gold helmet right now.
I can get behind it. Let's do that. Okay, if we're talking money, I would like a red jersey while we're at it. Okay, so I will pay for the gold helmets if we get red jerseys. How about that?
Black helmet with the gold highlight would be nice. That is actually, I'm really happy with that happy medium. And then the comment right under, Big J, gold helmet. What are we, the Swedish Elite League? I mean, that's a completely separate subject, but I would love if like the top scorer of every team like wore a different helmet and a different jersey.
Do they do that in the Swedish Elite
They
League?
do. I don't know if it's the Swedish Elite League, but a lot of European leagues do that, and it just helps new fan like see who's good and who's bad.
What a smart move.
I love it. Sorry. Just one last subject before we get into the betting segment.
Yes.
Tim Stützle.
Love him.
Love him. Guy
Because he shot
midway through the game learned how to shoot the puck.
my 9-year-old and I went to opening night in the Oilers game, and I among my notes here in the what we got here? There it is. Is this the 3-on-1 where he has an open cage and
he has an open net and gets rid of it?
What? But again, can we say anything after he sniped the first goal? It's kind of like the Maryline, he let the puck in, but then he did really well after that.
Kind of like the Zetterlund turnover, which I forgot we were supposed to talk about that. But the Zetterlund turnover, and he kind of just stepped his game up right after that. So, but
the reason I can harp on Jimmy for this one is because it goes back to it's been his heel. He's always looking for the pass, and he's so good with the shot. And I think at this point too, goalies are expecting him to pass. Start shooting the puck. Like, they're doing the homework on you, man. Start shooting. They don't think you're gonna do it.
And look at that power play goal he got, man. Like, along with a billion other goals he scored, like, guy can shoot the puck. So I remember that meme that was happening a little earlier. Just give the puck to the German and magic things are going to happen. I mean,
okay. So
not many guys in the league can rip it like that.
No, but that's the point, isn't it? Is it like there are so many people who can pass the puck. Again, we get back to the argument that's made all the time on the Big Show, is that this is the NHL. You know, these guys are all the best of the best. So I think one thing, and I do this a lot, you know, play my own devil's advocate. You know, it is indicative of them playing for each other. You know, I think that's one thing that he's probably, you know, maybe I'm just making excuses for him, but you mentioned they're a wagon. I think these guys are all coming to the rink and they don't give a rat's you know what about who gets what, so long as the W's in the right column at the end of the game, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Justin, right there in the chat, he said it perfectly. He can't help the team by being too generous. We like a little bit of generosity here, but
I like that line.
The best way to be generous is to puck somehow ends up in the net, and the best way you can put the puck in the net when you have an open goal right in front of you, Just tap it in.
I gotta find a way
And
to
yeah,
take a screenshot of that so I can find a way to send that to Stutzla. And for the
and
record, I have no way to contact Tim Stutzla, but we're gonna figure this out.
carrier pigeon, man.
Yeah,
Melina Farmer bringing it up. He scored 2 goals with the new tape job. I did notice that. He still got that weird, like, only taping the toe, but I guess he went way longer and way wider with that little extra strip.
I didn't notice that. Good catch.
Me neither. I didn't notice it until it was going off on social media, but hey, it's still that ridiculous, I want to say, like, ball hockey-esque tape job that he's got going on. Because I think that's what people were calling it in his rookie season. But I think we just found a new fashion there.
I love the insider info for Melina, but not.
Yeah, I didn't know about the Alfie part. I didn't know it was Alfie that told him that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to listen to anybody, I mean, Tim Stutzla is going to listen to Alfie. You know, everybody should listen to Alfie. All right, that's a rule. But I digress in those moments when I remember seeing it for the first time all those years ago and thinking, that's a weird tape job. And then I realized that I can barely turn around while skating at full speed. So good job, Tim. You do you, buddy.
That was great. And sorry, actual last thing I want to talk about before.
You keep rolling.
All right, yeah, because going back to our, the Sens bad start. Sorry, we're all over the place here, but the Sens early bad start. Let's talk about that Zetterlund turnover, because I almost cried because of how much I was talking him up. Obviously, he got my spirits way up after the game, a little later, but I'm going to sound like I'm defending him with my life here, because I am a little bit.
I'm into it.
That's not entirely his fault. A lot of people have been blaming him, and almost, I don't want to say people have been blaming him entirely. He is at fault, but I don't think anyone wearing a red jersey there had a good play.
I think it's the same in any sport. Why are you putting I see he sees the trailer coming up. I know he sees in his mind, he's thinking, okay, chip pass and off we go. We got a good rush going.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta also see the Bruins player coming the exact off. Like, why couldn't that chip play have gone off the boards to, sorry if I can't remember, but who's coming through the logo right there? Like, why couldn't that chip play have gone off the boards behind you to whomever's coming down that logo? But again, here we are, hindsight.
Yeah.
So I just think it's people were looking, us included, myself, as much as I was on his team, and I still am. I think people are looking for a reason to go after him.
Yeah, Julian McKenzie, absolute legend. Again, yeah, he again, in hindsight, seeing Geekie coming in, he has to just eat up that pass. Matt Paolo, he went for a relatively safe play, playing it off the boards, but I guess, I don't know if he just didn't see Zetterlund or he didn't see the rest of his players coming up the ice. And again, Meriläinen, if it wasn't the first shot of the game, I'd be okay with it. Because Geekie does have a sneaky, awesome shot. But
that was a beauty. I've said it all the way, but God, that was a nice shot. And I love the announcers in the game talking about how good Morgan Geekie's been playing, and one of them said, "Well, now he's on pace for 50 goals," and it's like, no, he's not getting when nobody thinks he's getting 50.
Yeah, and another thing too, because that chip play, those are things that they practice a million times. I kind of want to say, I don't know if it's Green or it's Alfie or anyone else in the assistant in the coaching staff, but it's a play that the players were obviously ready for. Geekie saw it coming, and I think it just goes to a wider team issue. I can't just blame Matt and Paolo and Zetterlund.
No, definitely not. You're not wrong in saying that was a team effort to get it wrong there. That was definitely bad, and I think we get to say that because they didn't make many more mistakes from pretty much that moment on.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now that we've covered, I think, all the big events, is there anything that you think I missed before we move on over here?
I'm looking at my no, not really. No, we got it.
All right, then let's move on to the money segment here.
I love it.
Yeah. helps if I pull up the ad read. This segment is brought to you by Sports Interaction, Sportsbook, and Casino. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Sports Interaction, Ontario only, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. I wasn't bad. I wasn't bad for my
Well done. You killed it.
second episode.
You
yeah, so
killed it.
So, talked a little bit before the game about what I thought was a betting props. I put 3 down, and I'm 2 for 3. So I could not be happier. And Wally, I know you're listening. You told me to put it. You told me to put cash down for Zetterlund scoring a goal. Guess what happened?
Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. The first big thing I wanted to put down, Zetterlund to score. Sports Interaction had that at a 7.0 odds. I had to smack that, and it was perfect. Like I know you're not that big of a gambling man, but
I'm gonna learn. That's that's gonna be the fun thing through this segment is that Cody's gonna teach me how to and what I need to do. I was searching around for as I'm sure the fellow lesser gamblers do. We love the prop bets, and it's a lot of fun to get in there. But I will say that the Sports Interaction's got a ton that you can bet on. Like I found myself scrolling and I realized that I hadn't got anywhere near the top of the app where there's different subheadings where you get to scroll even through that. So yeah, I mean, there's a bit of an addictive personality that may have led to me not being a gambler, but we're gonna have some fun with this. I think I'd be willing to place my first bet for the Chicago game.
Yeah, I'm getting chirped in the chat here. Yorkie Jr. telling me to pull up my ad read. Oh my god, that's a really good chirp. I'm gonna take that one. I'm not making that mistake again. But yeah, the second one, I had going, and I think odds at 1.72, nothing huge. Winning 72 cents per every dollar you put down, not that big of a deal. But Cousins getting a point, I think we both saw that coming.
With how a point? Yes, 100%. He was getting a point.
Yeah, like what is he at now? 10 points in 10 games, maybe 11. He did get 2 points today, didn't he?
He did. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, guys, absolutely insane. Along with Pinto, I had to limit myself. Pinto's on a heater too. I feel like the whole team's doing super well, but just the way Dylan Cousins played, and he didn't get a point in that Philadelphia game, but even then he got a great game in general, and just because of how he's just doing so well.
Because he's
I don't think there's
because he's a first line player, and that's
I'm talking about Dylan. I'm talking about Dylan, not Nick.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I should have specified that. Yeah.
That's fine. I'm searching right now to see because I want to know how much immediately Zetterlund's stock went up as far as odds go for games going forward. Now that he's finally broken that and gotten his goal, you made some good money on him today. What are we looking at for tomorrow?
Well, I'm just gonna go back to my third bet that didn't work out. Sens winning by 1, had those odds at 8.0, so that would have been a nice little payout. But Sens just deciding to honor their captain and putting up 7 goals 2 games in a row. What
nicely said.
So, but hey, I'll take the L on that one because it was great. Looking at Chicago, most odds aren't out yet, but I'm looking at Cousins, I'm looking at Pinto, I'm looking at those big top those guys in the top 6. I'm sure Nick Cousins odds are probably looking pretty good too.
I think so.
If Travis Green keeps the lineup the same, which I'd be surprised if he doesn't, getting in on a back-to-back. But and maybe some I don't know exactly what props they're going to have for Allmark, but I'm expecting a pretty big game out of him, especially after that Washington game where he did play well overall. He didn't play like the $8 million goalie that he is.
It's a process, Cody. He's slowly but surely he's building himself up. First you get the money, then you prove. That's how it works, right? I think tomorrow, the Sens are probably on track and should be. The Blackhawks are in a similar situation ish to the Bruins. They're not as good as they could be now. I mean, you can't really say that with a team with Bedard on it, but the depth isn't as they aren't as deep as the Sens, and there are some good runs starting. You mentioned Pinto. That's a great person to put some money on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Batherson, what's he got right now? I have a stat right for some. He's got about 7 points in 8 games or something ridiculous. Or is it
back to back 2-goal games? Like, dude's on
That's
fire.
it. Yeah, so there are a lot of people you could put some money on. I don't think you could ever go wrong in a general sense putting money on Jake Sanderson. Like, is there anybody better than him playing on the blue line in the league right now?
That's a really good question.
You know, like, and I mean across the board stats wise, like, sure, some guys are going to do something a little better, but I think that's an arguable point even through the lulls of the last 5-6 games.
Yeah, Justin S again with a really good, point. Boston kind of just neutralizing Pinto pretty good, but that's where that depth really came in, where literally anyone else can score.
Yes.
And he had chances. He didn't get a goal tonight. Not worried about it.
I'm okay
I think
with
he's still, I think he's still technically Canadian bad talking about Makar. Okay. But, Jake Sanderson is like, just because he's on such a heater right now. Yeah, I'd put him up in easily that top 3 conversation in this very moment at 11:11 on October 27th. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this little segment. So everybody go check out some your nice little points on Sports Interaction. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. From puck drop to overtime, bet with live odds on every play with easy deposits and payouts. Go to sportsinteraction.com/coming-in-hot to open an account. Ontario only, 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Looking ahead, like you said, Chicago, not the best team in the league, not the worst. They got a 4-3-2 record. Back-to-back game. We're rolling into their house. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I'm a bit tossed off my rails here because I didn't realize we don't have a great record in Chicago. And Jay is pointing out it may have been Jay, said we may have to go back to the Carlson era to find a win in Chicago. Are you kidding me? And I mean, call me whatever you want to call me. I believe in that kind of stuff. There's certain barns you just don't play well in. I hope we can break that curse. I'm thinking if I had to take it, Sens 3-2 in overtime.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And wow, that's already pretty bold. But yeah, it's, like Canadian Bad is talking about, Hawks are kind of on a heater too right now. They've won their last 2 games. They're 4th in the Central Division, which we're talking. We're in late October. We're kind of still in that silly stat season. So it's we'll see a little bit right now. Frank Nazar 9 points in 9 games, so he's doing pretty good. We got some talent. They're a team with a lot of speed. So whatever will happen, I'm expecting a really different game style-wise from the Sens, in at least what they're going to have to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of end-to-end. And if I were Chicago, I'd be preaching that speed because, to your point, we're coming off back-to-back. Like, they're not even on the plane yet. And it's a short flight, but they're not in the hotel room till 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And those Blackhawks players, they're already asleep. So that's, they're looking at this going, sweet, we get to sleep in our beds, we get to play our game. And you're right, they are a fast team.
Yeah, late puck drop in that team too. Chicago, obviously, an hour behind us. But yeah, kind of just some final thoughts on the game too. Boston ending the game out shooting the Sens. Did not feel that way at all. Sens outshot them in the first period, and in the third technically. But we're looking at the overall shots. Sorry here, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that game did not feel like
9-24 makes no sense.
No,
that means that the Sens didn't get a shot on goal for the last couple of minutes at least. Because I remember when you and I were watching this, and it was 25-24, and I don't understand how that's possible. I have nothing else to say because it's that confusing.
Well, to me, it proves that shots on goals, maybe a shot on goal, they weren't dangerous. Which, again, going back to that Washington game, I didn't feel like Washington was getting too many opportunities. There's this guy named Alex Ovechkin on the Capitals. Don't know if you heard of him. He's pretty decent at hockey.
He's just okay.
he didn't feel dangerous at all. So, exactly, like a lot of those shots were not high danger shots. Again, Justin, you're just stealing the words right out of my mouth, man. So, yeah, if any of Sen's opponents wants to, start shooting from behind the face-off circle or from the blue line, and especially when you give Marilainen or Ullmark just some free, let him see the puck without a screen, go for it. I don't care. Pat his stats. Like we talked, this game was a huge, in general, confidence boost for Marilainen. He made some amazing saves. Just in general in the game, because he did bail out the Sens a couple times. Like Canadian Bad said, I'm just talking overall. He was busy, but it didn't feel like he had to bail the Sens out too much, just because of how well literally everyone else was playing. Also,
I was looking into the chat here because I think it was Justin who said, "Yeah, Shepard's getting a shutout tomorrow." I like that.
Yeah, well, I am expecting to see Ullmark. Hopefully, yeah, I think with the Matt Sogard injury, they're going to need Shepard back down in Belleville. Although I would love to see Jackson Parsons getting a shot in Belleville, but we'll see fun. There. Ember, Ontario boy, represent. We went to middle school together, so love that guy. Would love to see him coming in. But yeah, any final thoughts on the game?
It was a big Sens win. It's nice to see them playing their game, and it's nice to see them taking things slowly, because that's what it looked calculated. It looked like they did everything on purpose. Yeah.
One last question I want to ask the chat, just because we got some time on the boards. Where are you guys tuning in from? Because I know there's a bunch of Sens fan in the chat, but I know the Sens have some influence all across the country, all across the world. So let's see where we're tuning in from. I'm east of Ottawa. I'm east of the city. Jameson,
I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada, so you're right down. Justin from Burlington. There we go. That's Saskatoon Canadian Bad. There we go.
Hey, Saskatoon.
Wow, hey, Montreal E98. There we go. So I love it, guys. Coming in hotter. We're getting a lot.
Kamloops.
This show. Oh my goodness. There we go.
Rock Vegas shutout too. Jesse, Rock Vegas. Yeah, baby. The bus stop outside Bayshore.
Quebec City, bienvenue. Yeah, so coming in,
you win.
Exactly. So I cannot wait for tomorrow and to get this show on the road. We had a great first show here, Jameson. Like what you think? I'm having a great time right now.
Yeah, but
I
think we're going to go places with this one. We're going to have some fun. And hey, to everybody who chimed in from the chat, it's awesome to have you guys in. This is all about the post game. This is all about you guys just as much as anyone here. So thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow. It's been amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, we love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.